years that they pay back, pay us. Yeah, if they're making a profit, they pay us.
Okay.
Okay, that's what the 23 is. And so, in the past, we have allowed them, we've taken it, we've also allowed them to do repairs and updates, etc. And so that needs to be on the agenda.
Next month. Or next week.
I'll put it on next week. How you guys feeling?
Yeah, I think might as well just make it happen.
Would it be smart to have,
Jerry?
yeah,
Jerry up here,
yeah. No?
he'll just ramble on.
Well, I know, but the idea, is there some projects that they can, I mean, we can use the money, but.
Well, they're talking about doing some painting and things of that nature.
Okay, well, 23,000 might want to paint.
Well, but it's labor.
I think there was some windowsill stuff that they needed to do.
This, I think we're going to October 6th. Which is about 3 weeks.
Okay, because in the motion, I think we were back and forth, so. Yeah. I'll put October 6th on.
And it is 9 o'clock. Maybe give Gary a moment or two, or shall we just go ahead? Alright. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Did you tell Tracy you wanted to change that to October 6th?
I did not yet.
The motion for the courthouse being closed, was it 30 days or October 6th?
On the minutes, the motion I thought was to review this October 6th rather than 30 days. It was kind of back and forth a little bit.
Right.
I think it was October 6th because of voter.
They're going to start on the 5th. They can vote.
Right.
Right.
So I think that.
Alright, I'll change it to the 6th.
Okay. So
Just take away the 30 days.
yeah, just change it to.
Just drop the 30 days and put the date in.
Right.
Yep.
As of keep the courthouse until, we review it again. Okay. She'll correct that.
Okay.
So is that your motion to
Yes, it
approve
is.
it? And I'll second that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. See anything on the claims?
Still going through them, yeah.
Okay.
Gary might want to go through them.
Yep. Okay. Approved national voter registration proclamation.
Yep, today is National Voter Registration Day.
All right.
So we've been doing that for a few years.
Okay.
If you want to sign and approve that.
National voter registration day. So. "17-year-olds are allowed to register, but must be 18.
By election day.
Okay.
So like if they were 17 and a half in the primary, they could vote, as long as they were going to be 18 for the general.
Here's this Tracy. After you looked it over. Morning, Gary. Nobody signed that.
I didn't even have a return address on the mail
Mm.
yesterday.
let you read that first, and I'll make a motion on that resolution. It's
Item
on the,
2.
huh?
It's item 2. What's that?
It's on the agenda, right?
Item 2, yes.
Okay.
It's 3.
Yeah, you do bring your stamper.
I did.
Got it?
So moved.
Good.
Okay,
Whatever.
second,
All right.
and this by resolution, excuse me.
It is. This is to approve the National Voter Registration Proclamation. Okay. Beershank,
Aye.
Seaman,
Aye,
and Primer, aye.
Sanders ready?
Please. Item 6. That's item 3.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve
The homestead.
homestead military disability veterans credits for 2020.
Second.
All right, motion by Tracy, seconded by Gary. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Resolution.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
yeah, it is resolution. You get that, yeah. Okay, Beershank,
Aye.
Seaman,
Aye.
and Primer, aye. Okay. You also have, item 6 there. Resignation for Dave Davis for
Accept.
transportation.
I accept it.
Okay, so that's a motion to
Yep.
accept.
Second.
Okay, Tracy made the motion to accept Dave Davis's resignation. Gary seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 We need 1 or 2 initials on Dave's,
Yeah.
or 3 rather.
Yeah, that's fine, it's just for the file that you guys acknowledge it.
You want just 1?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Number 4, that's where I go through the fund balances and we commit so much of the funds, so like land acquisition, they've been putting away for the Hammond building.
Okay.
Mark and Bar we put away for a new vehicle when the time comes, that kind of thing. So I'm just getting through that, but it'll be by resolution. And then I'll put the amounts in there. So like local option sales tax, we commit so much for infrastructure, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one of those you just have to do every year. So.
Okay. So
And that'll be by resolution.
by resolution, so you need a motion to approve the committed funds,
Yeah.
committed funds. Okay.
Second.
Okay, Gary made the motion to approve item 4, the approval of committed funds, and Tracy seconded. Beershank,
Aye.
Seaman, aye.
and Primer, aye. Thank you. Okay, we've got item 7, and how do you pronounce his last name?
Rachi.
Rachi?
Yep.
Okay. to appoint Mike Rachi as Fremont Township trustee.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, Tracy made that motion and Gary seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 He was excited, I bet, right?
He kinda is.
Good.
I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I passed this quote around for item 7. Is Ben, I don't think Ben's coming in.
No, I thought that's what he was gonna be talking about already.
A little bit.
No, he didn't until he gave us this. This is to approve the audio.
He just wanted to make sure you guys knew he wasn't the one that was gonna be doing all the work.
Well, it came forth, through the clerk's office. I think this would be a whole lot better than moving the courts out of the courthouse.
Yeah, you don't want to.
No.
What are they all gonna do up there?
It says it right here in the bid. When they finish up there. It's 70% down before they start. I don't quite agree with that.
I don't know if we can do that back for COVID or not.
Well, it's due to the
Extra. social
shields
distancing.
or masks that, it sure would be worth a try.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the max out of it, I just don't know what.
Now, the next thing, just for your information, quote was made 8/5/2020,
I know that it's probably outdated.
30 days.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we can approve it, subject to them staying the same.
Ben got the quote from him,
Yes.
so he'd be the one more or less overseeing the project.
I would assume so.
What's an antenna distribution system?
It's kind of like a router, if you will, for a computer.
So,
The receivers, et cetera, that you're gonna have to have up in that courthouse, or courtroom.
someone could listen to court outside the courtroom. In other words, outside the courthouse.
I suppose if you had the frequency. I don't know if it's,
Yeah, see, I don't know if it'd be scrambled.
well, that or if it's only good within so many,
That's what I would
Feet.
say, yeah.
I mean, that's logical.
But
I doubt it's a broadband.
Your best bet is, can we call Ben back in here?
Let's see if he's on. On, let's see if he's on.
We got a couple minutes yet.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Morning. Doing well. Good morning.
If the court wanted to be closed, they might have to turn off the mic. If it's broadcast.
Yeah, again, I can't imagine it's gonna be a broadband, so,
Well, Mark,
thank you, sir.
this line doesn't go over any roof lines or trees.
And you had a couple questions regarding the quote that we received. First of all is the time frame. It was a 30-day quote. They did that 5th of August, I believe it was.
I think that should, the time on the quote should be fine. I've had ones that we sat on for 6 months and went back to them.
And we can make it subject to them honoring that.
Yep.
So, but the other question had to do with the antenna on there.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. I literally just went to them and said, hey, we need this quoted. That's why I said reach out to them for better explanation.
Okay. Well, we're guessing that it's probably so that the receivers, you know, for speakers, etc., you know, to broadcast it up in the courtroom, and it's going to be hopefully fairly minimal as far as somebody being able to tap into a frequency or something.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it's for the wireless mics. That's what I'm guessing the antenna's for. I have no idea. I'm not an expert in this type of stuff.
Okay.
That's not my.
But if we approve that, you could check it out and make sure that it's nothing that's going to be broadband that somebody could set out in the.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be anything worth it. I mean, they'd have to have a receiver unit for it. I don't honestly know.
Yeah. Well, I use a headset, for example, telephone, and it has a receiver, and you know, so that I can connect to it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had anybody attempt to tap into my telephone conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I wouldn't think that anybody would.
okay.
I never know.
Sounds good.
Okay.
One thing that I got a small problem with is 70% down before they start.
That's what we've had to do with them prior to.
Really?
Yep.
Or that shady of a county.
I think they do that with all their customers. No idea what they have in place. I don't know.
It's radio communications.
No, it'd be RC Tech. They're the ones who did the wiring the door buzzers at the service center.
Okay.
You can mention that if you get a supervisor that kicked on that little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and then the labor is not in this quote either, so.
It's not?
No, it's not.
That's just.
That's just hardware.
Mm-hmm.
It's time and material then?
Say there's no, that's just basically the cost for the hardware on everything. There's nothing in there with
Labor to install and test.
and maybe it is in there. I don't know. The way I understood it was that there wasn't any in there. That's why I figured it makes sense to have them come and actually discuss with you guys what exactly the setup is and how the quote's worded out, because I don't know for sure either.
Julie too, because
Okay. Well, maybe
I think it'd be best to have an overall grasp of the system than going through me and having me reach out to them and having me repeat what they say. It might be best just to even have them call in and say, hey,
Okay.
this is the system, this is how it looks, or even have him come up and show you what.
Well, I don't know that. I'm sure, you know, it needs to be done in a timely manner. But would you contact them? Maybe we can get it on the agenda then for next week.
Yeah.
And maybe Julie would come in as well. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can reach out to him and see if he can come in next week.
Okay. That way they can see that they're going to honor this pricing, et cetera, and
Mm-hmm.
we can get an idea from them what the labor is. I doubt it's a big deal to come up and just set the equipment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, the way it looks like it's a permanently installed system. It's not just one where they set them on the desk. It's where speakers are mounted in the ceiling or however they're mounting them, and there's a control panel somewhere to turn it on and off. And
Okay, we'll find out. All right,
so I think it might be best just to have him describe it. And I've got a copy of it.
that goes back here. Thank you. Okay,
I think personally it'd be probably best just to have them come in and describe it and explain how it works, how it functions, what their
Makes
thought is
sense.
in mind, and how it's going to be mounted so that way you guys know, because I literally just said, hey, we need this quoted.
okay.
and then I passed on what I got from the court, so.
Will you get a hold of them and see if we can get them up here next
Yep,
week?
I can do that.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
Yep.
And you'll get a hold of, Judy, correct?
Yeah, she's around.
Okay, very good. Well, sorry, Mark, we ran a couple minutes over there.
No problem. Not a problem. at all.
Fire away.
I've given you an application for a change in land use from Jim and Shelby Bolton of Walker. Jim is here to my left. I think you guys have seen Jim before. He was here, to ask about a variance to the subdivision ordinance before. That was on July 7th. He came seeking a variance to some of the requirements to our subdivision ordinance. You passed a resolution at that time to allow him to prepare a one-lot subdivision plat. So now we're here looking at the possibility of a change in land use from you. They'd like to change the use of 2 acres to build a new home. Land's owned by Tim's mother, Lori. It's directly south of 5041 32nd Avenue. We're up here in section 3 of Polk. It's on the west, right here, on the west side of 32nd Avenue, just about right here where the intersection of 50th Street Drive is. It's a little bit more than a half mile to the north of the highway there, the Walker Road, north of Spencer's Grove. This land that you're looking at here is under review. I took a photo of it. The first photo that is there shows exactly what it looks like. There's a red flag in the picture, so it's not real obvious, but there is a red flag there where the driveway would go. But that land that you're looking at is not under production. They're in production. Soils are fine sandy loam there. There's couple of different soil types, so I averaged it. CSR is a 53. The site needs a new driveway. Randy Sherwood has looked at it for all the meeting the requirements, and Randy said that everything there is good as far as the driveway resolution goes. We're looking at the necessity of a new well and septic system. I don't see any issue with that whatsoever. Just in the last few years, we put in a new septic system just to the north of where this parcel is for Tim's mother's home there. Nice soil type to work with for septic systems, so there should be no issues there at all. Surrounding land uses out here, we have a lot of rural residential in this particular area. Obviously, there is some row crop, but up and down the road here, there's some new residences on 50th Street Drive. We just had a new residence a couple of years ago. So the flavor in the area as far as surrounding land uses is pretty much residential in nature. We notified 6 adjacent property owners of this request. And of course, we placed legal notices in the newspapers of Benton County. We received no comments prior to today's hearing, and nobody came to talk about it here at the hearing today. As far as this land use request, it's on family land. It is the type of land that meets the criteria as far as being able to develop, doesn't interfere with any farm operations whatsoever, and so it meets our criteria. As far as the paperwork I gave you, just the aerials try to show, I highlighted in yellow where that building site would be in proximity to everything. As I mentioned earlier, Tim was in here to ask you for variance to subdivision ordinance. He is needing to prepare a final plat yet. When this is split, there'll be approximately 8 acres that, as far as his parcel. Probably on down the line, he'll own more ground here. This is family land here, but for now, he'll need to prepare a subdivision plat, so he will be back in front of you again for that particular purpose. Final plat and resolution accepting final plat. Any questions about this proposal?
I have none. Gentlemen? Questions? Tracy?
Your parents live in the house?
What's that, sir?
your parents live in the house
Yes, they do.
next to you?
Yes.
Okay, and then, I guess down the road, you got a brother and sister, maybe will move out there?
Two brothers.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Yep.
Perfect. I make a motion
To approve it?
Yes, I do.
Second.
All
Thank
right. Tracy made the motion to approve the land use change for Tim and Shelby Wolken, correct? Did I pronounce it correctly? Okay. And Gary seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nice job, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Haley.
Yep.
Look forward to seeing you again.
I'll most certainly be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Item 11 is discuss and take action on presidential directive regarding social security tax.
Yeah, have you guys heard anything about that?
Have not heard anything.
So some other counties, and I've talked to some other state offices, and what that is that we can opt out of withholding social security tax from employees right now, but then they all have to pay it back in double for January. So I would hope that you would be able to opt out of that option, because I just think that'll be a nightmare to try to keep track of.
So do we need a motion or what do we need to do?
Some counties are doing motions or a resolution, so I just thought we could bring it up, because if we've only been asked by a minimal, couple people have asked me to have it, but the one that definitely, they didn't want to have it done either.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have to pay it back.
Okay, so they're not in favor of it then? Okay,
The one we've talked to was not.
okay.
And I agree, I think that'll be, because you're gonna have to take double, you're gonna have to pay it back
Yep.
somehow.
That's right, still gotta be
And
paid.
then your check's gonna be less, because you're
You wanna make a motion?
So need a motion to,
opt out of the presidential directive to defer payment of employees.
So move.
Second.
okay. Tracy made that motion, Gary seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. How you coming on those claims?
Oh, pretty well done. How about you, Gary?
Let me close. I did notice that there was a sheriff vehicle maintenance, $1,855.
Yeah.
Those ones that got hurt,
Oh,
a couple of them did.
in the storm. But it didn't damage the car more than $1,800.
And it might have been our deductible too, I think we got some insurance money out of it.
Well, I think that was with Hinkle's though.
Yeah,
I don't think that's body work.
I don't think so either.
No,
I
I think
think
that's
they, then they
regular
told,
maintenance.
Well, you had to maintenance one of the other ones to get by temporary until those two new ones come in.
yeah,
No,
I was thinking he told one, didn't he?
Yes.
And then also secondary roads, how about the pickup?
I haven't heard from her on that one.
Cause the pickup got injured too.
But I know now we have our two new vehicles.
Yep.
One of them got the striping all on it, so it's out.
The other one's been driving without it.
storm was quite the deal.
If you wanna get the claims out of the way, I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Tracy made that motion, Gary seconded to approve the claims. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any reports, committee reports?
Landfill last week. I think I told you that before, that the tractor's down, the brand new one.
That's what you said.
You get it back up?
Not last week anyway, still waiting for parts for the rear end.
So what are they doing for the packing?
Using the old one.
Oh, they
They
still
still
got the
kept, yep, still kept the old one.
That's kind of funny. You got the new one, but you're using the old one.
Yep.
Hey Gary, why don't you pass that bucket around?
This?
No, the bucket,
Oh,
Yeah. Took some water, but it's super dry.
Then I met with Adam Rodenberg Thursday on the pond.
But thank you.
On the pond? Out there?
Yeah.
Issues?
Farmer did not show up again.
It's hard to complain then. No, it's not hard to complain.
And I looked it all over. I mean, they put too much fill in the wetlands, I guess, you know, there's
Mm-hmm.
places where water is sitting and then there's high ground, but the contractor is gonna come back and
Take
dig
care of
that
it.
out. I didn't see that much wrong with it,
As long as it takes care of it.
you know.
Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
So do you need to get this on the agenda?
Mm-hmm, probably.
You want me to hang on to that up here? Not signed, came in an envelope without a return address.
From yesterday.
These all need a stamp on them for approval.
There's a few.
Do I have to hit disallow? So disallow.
Yeah.
Need to mark those as well.
So they have to send those certified letters. Okay, we're disallowed.
on this, farm with this, conservation department, I assume that's what it
I
is.
think that was that one you signed before we got that back in mail.
So what do we gotta do?
I think that was just telling us that it got changed.
It's in Buchanan County.
That's that watershed piece with Craig Albert, remember, that you signed?
Yeah, I remember. I just don't understand how it's gonna
Because
be
we're
signed.
since we're the watershed fiscal agent, we now technically own that pond or whatever that wetland thing is, so.
But that's in Benton County.
No, his is in Buchanan,
Oh. Okay.
so that's why we got that.
EAV.
It's disabled.
So there really isn't anything we gotta do with this.
I don't think so, I think that was just from us signing that, then they sent that acknowledgement back,
So do you wanna file it?
probably, as far as you can see it.
So we could allow it and then you want them stated?
Mm-hmm.
I think these were. Okay, that'd be sweet.
You gonna go to this, Tracy?
No.
Good morning, Myron.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good. You?
Not so bad, thank you.
You want that one back?
Yes, I do.
This is,
That one won't come
cover
either.
letter.
Oh, I go with it? Cover letter.
Okay. Does Benton County FSA, you probably don't know anything about that farm up there.
Mm-mm.
You know. I probably should go out to the ASCS office and ask them what's going on and make sure that we got everything taken care of.
There's nothing to sign.
Wow.
Okay, what's this USDA thing?
That's just what we were talking about, who signed for the watershed.
I'm sorry, who signs?
Well, Gary did, because Benton County,
Okay.
when we purchased those ponds and things, we're technically the owner.
Right.
So, Craig Albert had sent something in and Gary had signed off on it.
Okay.
So then that's just acknowledging the change
All right, so you get it?
on the file.
Thank you. Myron?
Ready?
Yep.
Last Tuesday was the monthly DOT's construction letting. In that letting, Benton County had a single reinforced concrete box culvert located on 75th Street in Florence Township. Just for reference, it is right here between sections 2 and 11, Florence. Those bids were due by 10 o'clock last Tuesday, got opened up thereafter. Benton County had 5 bidders submit on that project. In front of you have those, ranging from $276,665.50 to $350,796.60. The engineer's estimate for that project when the plans were submitted $151,832.30. The guy that put that estimate together called me at lunchtime last Tuesday. He said, I got beat up pretty bad. Said all of them were less than my estimate. But I recommend that we accept those bids from the DOT letting last Tuesday. Is my first action request.
Iowa Bridge and Culvert.
These
These are all,
I was gonna do it in 3 separate
To
motions
accept
here.
the
The
bids.
first one was just to accept the bids that were as submitted.
so moved.
Second?
Okay, Gary made that motion to accept the bids. Tracy seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 In conjunction with all those DOT projects, the DOT Contracts Office will review all of those bids. They will then send the contracting authority who they recommend, who the lowest responsible bidder is. They're recommending that Iowa Bridge and Culvert be awarded the contract. I would concur with that recommendation and would like to recommend that we go with the lowest responsible bidder, being Iowa Bridge and Culvert, for that set amount.
Is there a motion to approve the low bid
So moved.
Second.
and to award that contract? Yep.
To Iowa
Tracy
Bridge.
made the motion. Gary seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Incidentally, Iowa Bridge and Culvert is doing 2 box culverts in Benton County when they just finished pouring over by Atkins and due to start the one over by Terra Hills shortly. I think they're also maybe wanting to try to get this one fit in this fall too, from what little I've heard through the rumor mill. I've talked to them directly, only because DOT policy recommendation is that you get the contract approved before you do any contract discussions. So with the DOT contracts, projects, everything's being done electronically now through a program called Doc Express. Rick, you remember last year, we talked about this here a few weeks ago, that you need to get a digital signature approved through that process, and then you gotta do that each and every time a project comes up. Between a year ago and a couple weeks ago, because we did one, but the DOT got approval with that. I think it was more the software as well as internally with DOT, but the county board of supervisors or city council could designate a signee for those contracts. And what I have is a resolution here, like we did on a previous project, allowing I, the county engineer, be the signatory for Benton County and jump online and do that. And so that's, this resolution gets a little wordy, that we followed all the guidelines. DOT put all the projects together, got it all publicly advertised, and got it out to bidders. We took the lowest responsible bidder, and we've taken action today to award that contract, and that you're designating me to make the signatures on that.
That's an excellent idea. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
By resolution.
And it's by resolution, so this would,
Seaman, aye.
and Primer aye.
Now you can sign documents.
I did it on the other one. Took me a little, sitting there thinking about it the other day, and I think that you had to sign it exactly, type it the same way you sign it. And I think that what I have in Doc Express is minus my middle initials. And I think if by accident, if you hit the space bar twice, it's between your first and last name, you might have to do that also. I don't know. I haven't played with it exactly, but like a few of those things that are very, if you don't want it, I will take care of it.
Okay. I don't need it.
Boy, there's quite a difference, there's $74,000 difference.
It is. Wonderful.
Part of it has to do with availability, I think.
The other part, they're already here in the county.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a lot of move-in expense.
No, really, other though they moved their equipment out of Atkins, and actually it sounds like maybe the crew that did the work at Atkins is gonna do the one down
Hills is just east of Terra Hills and south of the Blacktop, right?
Correct. Turns to dirt after you get past that piece. Actually past the railroad, old railroad
Oh.
bed would turn to dirt, but it's rock from the pavement to the railroad bed.
It's west of Canyon Lake, not east of Canyon Lake. Or excuse me,
Terra.
west of Terra Hills, not east of Terra.
No, it'd be east of Terry. I think that's a good point.
No,
No, it's rock. I stand corrected. No, Gary, it's part of 19th Avenue, that nice
Yeah.
north-south drag that runs from Hannon all the way to just shy of the Buchanan County line.
Have you been down to see the box culvert there at Atkins? The finished
I have
project?
not been on the dirt pile. I turned around at type 3 last night on the north side. So I didn't feel like taking the fence down and driving down there and looking at it. I was down there last week one night, I think, after work.
It's supposed to be that high?
I have not looked at it completely yet, I guess. I know that needing a certain amount of dirt over top of the box because of its design is basically got two curves on each end that need to be, preferably would be above that curve just enough for blading maintenance purposes. And I have not looked at that since we started putting dirt or what they put on. But I know when I was down there and looked at it before any of the backfill dirt was put on it, it looked like the top of the concrete floor was probably level with the existing road bed or slightly above it in parts.
I was down there yesterday afternoon.
Then stop by there later today and look at it just when the fence is down. And you know that Randy transferred an elevation of the blocks opening both north and south where it matches the existing road bed, I think. And I certainly right now where the dirt sets can easily be moved. I'm not quite sure how much dirt's sitting above that curve right now. I didn't eyeball that real close. I just could see with still, I figured it'd be most of the week, if not all week, doing that this week, that I didn't have to, last night, pull the fence down, I could do it during the workday. Not that it's hard to pull it down and pull it back up, but I was just like, rather than worry about that, I know, the contractor, when he was down there working, didn't have that fence put up every time, I don't think each night, because we left equipment parked there overnight, so, we wanted to keep it all buttoned up tight. From our wishes, at least.
They put the fence up last night.
Yeah. I was talking to Randy this morning, and he had mentioned that to them when they quit last night, that we're gonna leave stuff down there, make sure the fence is up on both sides, so.
Is there anything else for Myron?
That for me.
Myron, do you have anything?
That's it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
I don't think so. You got any meetings to talk about from last week?
No, I got one coming up Thursday.
I understand. Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Short and sweet. Except it's gonna take a while.